This video will walk you through setting up your MyMathLab or Course Compass account, showing you where your assignments are and what you need to do to complete the assignments successfully. Okay. To get to MyMathLab, you can use the course link in Blackboard, or you can type in the URL pearsonmylabandmastering.com, okay, and it'll take you to the Course Compass homepage. Okay. Now, if you've used Course Compass or MyMathLab before, you can go into the sign-in button and then just log into your account and then go from there. So we'll pick up when you get to your login information. Okay. If you've never used MyMathLab before, then down under the register button where it says need access, you're going to start there. Click on student. Okay, and then in here you're going to be asked to enter your course ID. Okay, for your course ID, okay, please take a moment to write that down, as you're going to need this code to access the course. Okay, once you've entered the course code, go ahead and click continue, and then here you can either sign in with your Pearson account if you already have one, or you can create your account. Okay, now you'll notice in the little box to the right it has all of our course information, so if you don't see that information listed there, please go back and make sure you entered the code correctly. Okay, when you're asked to create an account, here you have a little bit of flexibility in what you want. So for your email address, please use an email that you're going to check. I'm not going to regularly use MyMathLab to send you messages. I'll use Blackboard. But if there's any updates or outages on the system, their support team will send an email to this address. So make sure it's one that you'll check regularly. For your username and password, you again can pick that information. So pick something that you're going to remember for your username, and likewise for your password. Okay. For the first and last name, this information needs to be exactly as it appears in Blackboard. Okay, I'm going to say that again. For the first and last name, this information needs to be entered exactly the same as it is in Blackboard. Okay, if you enter information here, like you use a nickname or you're changing your name, and it's not the same, that's what's in Blackboard, then you're not going to end up getting your grades. Okay, the systems have to be able to read the names and match them up in order for us to get your grades to go back and forth. So please make sure it matches. Okay, security question and answer, again pick one, give the answer, and then go down to the bottom and accept the license agreement and create your account. Okay, once you create your account, you're going to be taken to an access screen. Okay. Here you're going to be given two options. If you've already bought your textbooks and received them, then you can use your access code that came with your book. Okay, and as you can see here, you're going to get 6 boxes. You're going to be asked to enter the code that came. Please enter it exactly as it is in your boxes. Okay. Once you enter those and hit finish, it'll then take you into the course. Okay. If you have not bought your books yet, then your other option is you can buy your access code online. Okay, so if you click the other option, you'll be taken to a payment screen where you can put in your credit card information, and then pull up, put in all your credit card information, your billing information, hit review. Once you've reviewed it, you can check out and it'll enter an access code for you. Okay. Once you've logged in, you should see a screen that's very similar to this. As you notice, the layout is very similar to what you see in Blackboard, the difference being the courses are listed to your left. Once you're here, you just need to find our course for the particular semester and our course name. Okay, yours should be the only one that shows up. When you get into their homepage, it automatically defaults to the study plan. The study plan is where you're going to want to work. It'll show you basically all the information you're going to need to satisfy the material within a particular chapter. It automatically defaults to the first chapter, first couple lessons. You can switch this view to view all chapters. and it'll list out everything. Okay, and you can go through here and kind of pick and choose which chapters you want to work on. Okay. Now the study plan is mostly going to be extra credit, but this is also the thing you're going to want to work on to make sure you understand the material. Okay, this is in addition to your practice problems and your ALEX assignments. Okay, to get the graded portion of this course, or this the MyMathLab within the course, you're going to go to the homework section. You'll see on here all of your homeworks are listed. There's one for each lesson. And if you click on the assignment name, you'll see the problems. Each of the problems, or each of the homework sets, is worth 35 points. So there's usually about 35 problems. There's a couple lessons that have a little less, just because the problems are a little bit more involved. But there's about 35 questions in each lesson. To complete these, basically all you're going to do is click on a problem. You can do them in order, or you can kind of skip around. If you've worked on a particular section you understand very well, you can kind of skip around. Takes just a minute for the problem to load. Again, make sure all of your software is updated. And you'll see on here the question. Basically, you'll have a couple things to keep in notice of. First is on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see a little math palette. This is usually only activated for problems where it's needed. So if you can't click on anything, so for example in this case I can't click on anything, it just means that you shouldn't need any of those symbols when you're entering your answer or working this problem. Again, you can see the list of the problems up top, so there's the 1 through 10, and then I can click the arrows over to see more of the problems, and it will skip with you if you move. To enter answers, so if you notice down at the bottom here, you get 3 buttons. Only one of them is highlighted at this point. Save means basically I just want to save the work I've done. If I haven't entered anything, it just lets your instructor, me, know that you've actually looked at the assignment but you haven't done anything on it. Okay. If I want to go ahead and enter an answer, so for example, let's say I want to enter this one, and I'll put in 783, and I'm going to purposely enter it wrong this first time. Notice as soon as I started typing in the box, these other 2 boxes showed up. So the first that I want to mention is the check answer. So I can check it, and like I said, I purposely entered it incorrectly. You'll notice that if you do that, it'll tell you right on there, sorry, you got this incorrect. It'll tell you a little bit about why you got it wrong. So read through that. Okay. I can also use the clear all button to clear it out. So I can put in an answer, and I can check it, and if I get it correct, you'll see a little box that looks like this that says well done. Basically, you did that one right. Other thing to notice on here is there's other couple of things to keep in mind. Over on the very right of your screen, you've got a couple different buttons on here: the view an example, the video, the textbook, and the print. View an example is just exactly what it sounds like. It gives you an example, kind of like a small tutorial about what you need to do to complete this particular problem. And it'll walk you through it a little bit at a time so that you can answer the question. The video, again, just like what it sounds like, so obviously I'm not going to let it run all the way through, but it just gives you a person, just like if you were sitting in a lecture. The textbook, again, just like what it sounds like, will take you to a PDF of the textbook where you can read through the information that was presented here. And this is mostly just useful if you don't have the textbook sitting in front of you. Okay. And then the last, obviously, this is the print. If you want to print the entire homework assignment, work on it paper and pencil, then come back in and enter your answers, that's available to you to do as well. If there's just a single question or two that you have some difficulties with and you want to go to a tutor or go to the hotline, you can print out that question save it, work on it, and then come back in and enter it. Okay. Okay. So a couple things on this page. First off, the name of the assignment is listed there, your due date and time. Please make sure that you submit your homeworks by the due date and time. If you don't, be aware it's a 5% deduction from the final score. So keep that in mind. For study plan mastery, so if you want this added to your study plan for that extra credit, you have to get 100% on the assignment. Okay, and you're allowed 4 attempts to complete each question. So if you get it wrong the first time, you can try it up to 3 more times before it's going to lock you out of there and give you a score. Okay. When you're on this screen, once you've completed an assignment, you'll notice that over to the left, over to the right, you'll see under the gradebook score, you can click on that and it'll show you how much of it you've completed. Okay. Once the due date has passed, the other things that you'll see will be your time limit, how long you spent on it, and the attempts, how many attempts you spent on average within the problems. Okay. The quizzes and tests we won't actually be using a whole lot, but if you click on there, what you'll see is basically pre and post tests for every chapter in the section or in the textbook. And this is useful if you just want some more study tools. So maybe you are preparing for exam 2 and you've already gone through the study guide that's online and all the practice problems that are online for Blackboard, but you just want something else to practice with. You can come in here and there are pre and post tests that you can attempt. The only difference between these and the homework is when you go in, you won't get a chance to view an example or see a video or things like that. You also only get 1 attempt at each problem in these pre and post tests. So once you've completed the assignment, it'll give you a score. You'll notice over here under attempts, there's up to infinity attempts. So once you've completed a pre or post test and you've gotten a score for it, you can go back in and do the whole thing over. So there's pretty much unlimited testing here that can help prepare you for the exams. Okay. Okay. Back to the home page there. Like I said, your study plan is available to you. That's a good tool. You'll notice also in this list there's all sorts of other resources that are available to you. So the ebook and videos, so those videos you saw in the homework assignment, all of those are listed here by chapter. So you can go in by chapter. So for example, if I go in there, and you can see all the videos that are available within each section. Okay. The multimedia library basically does the same thing. It just breaks it down a little bit more so you can look by media type. So maybe I'm just looking for the animations or just looking for the PowerPoints or just the test prep. All of those you can pull out again by chapter and section. Okay. Another nice feature on here is the student organizer. This is helpful in taking notes or completing homework. You can kind of organize what you're going to do with this organizer. So it also lists all of the chapters and sections. And again, if you click in here, basically what you'll see is what kinds of things you should be looking for as you go through each of the sections. So obviously we don't have a regular class schedule, but we do have notes and examples up there. You can go through and try and enter your own notes, answer some of the questions, and this will give you an idea of where you need to go back and review things, or what things you know pretty well. Okay, and again, they have one of those for each and every section in the chapter. Okay. The other thing that's going to be useful to you is the gradebook. And again, just like in the homework, on the homework list, you can see what your grade was. This just gives you a little bit more information. So like I said, you'll see the time you spent on it. It'll show you when you worked the assignment last.
Under here, again, it'll give you your correct total and your percent as far as the score goes. And then under review, it'll take you back to that list of questions, and you can see, what ones you got right or wrong. And so the little 0 out of 1 here just means I haven't actually done any of these problems. But if you look over here at question 3, there's a little check mark, and the 1 out of 1, that was the problem we attempted earlier. Okay. Changes at this point will not affect my score, and that's just because it's before the due date. So if I want to actually improve the score, I can go into the homework and do it there. After the due date, you'll see a similar note here, but it will say that changes will affect your score, and that just means, again, if you turn in the assignment or work on the assignment after the due date, you're going to get a late submission penalty, which is 5% per day deducted from the score. That means if you go into the homework and click on this assignment, and hit save or make any changes at all, so you've clicked on any of the problems, then you'll go ahead and change that score, and you'll get the 5% reduction if you are after the due date. If you just want to review it but you know you don't want to change anything, I would recommend doing it from the gradebook under the review homework. This is the only place that you're going to be able to do that without changing answers or revising your score. And as you see, when I go into them, I can see the problem. So this is a slightly different problem than we were looking at before. I'll be able to see what I entered as an answer. It'll over here tell me, again up here, it'll tell me whether I had a check mark or an X, so whether it was right or wrong. And you'll notice I don't have any options down at the bottom. It's just I can view it and then I can close. And that's so that you don't actually change anything in there. Okay. So keep that in mind. If you want to change it, go back to the homework section. Go there to make changes to your homework score. If you are just looking for reviewing the assignment, I would recommend doing it from the gradebook. Okay. That basically gives you everything you're going to need for the MyMathLab. If you have questions, like I said, please get a hold of me, and we can answer any questions you have so that you can do well in this course.